A black boy was adopted by a rich white man, but when the white family took a family photo, he could only watch. At this time, the adoptive mother saw the desire in his eyes and asked him to come and shoot together despite her husband's opposition. The boy was a little flattered and carefully stood beside the family, thus taking the first family portrait in his life, and it was also the first time he really felt the warmth of the family. At this time, the white people did not expect that their kindness and love would completely change the bow. The owner of this true story is named Mike. Although he is only 16 years old, he is tall and big, but his mind is always at the age of 6 or 7. It all comes from his tragic family of origin. He was born in a slum and his mother was a drug addict. He didn't even know who Mike's father. In less than a decade, Mike traveled through more than a dozen foster families, but without exception, no family was willing to really adopt him. Whenever he heard that his adoptive parents quarreled because of him, he would silently choose to leave and return to his wandering life again. Hungry, he slept in the roadside common laundry room at night until Mike met the Anna family on a cold, rainy night.
It's freezing. What's his name again?
Later, Anna asked her husband to ask him where he was going. Mike said he was going to the gym. The husband didn't speak again after hearing this, but Anna thought more and more, and immediately asked her husband to turn around and catch up with Mike because the gym was already closed. He asked,
"Do you have any place to stay tonight? Don't you dare lie to me." Come on.
In this way, the kind-hearted Anna decided to take in Mike for one night and took him home. Mike couldn't help but stare at such a magnificent villa. Born in a slum, she had never entered such a big house. Because the guest bedroom was full of debris, Anna had to wrong Mike to sleep on the sofa. Although it was the same as Mike had been in other homes, it was the most comfortable. However, Anna was worried when she returned to her room. She was worried that Mike would steal something. Her husband comforted her and said that it was only one night and she would know tomorrow. And when Anna went downstairs the next day, she only saw the neatly stacked bedding on the sofa. Fortunately, Mike hasn't gone far. Anna hurriedly chased out and asked Mike where he was going. Mike said he didn't know.
Are you spending Thanksgiving with your family?
In this way, Mike once again accepted Anna's kindness. But in the face of a big table of delicious food, Mike only served some fried rice and green vegetables, and quietly held a piece of bread, which was certainly not enough for his size, but he was more afraid of eating too much. Abandoned by the Anna family, Mike sat alone at the table and ate carefully. Unlike the family who were comfortable watching the game, this made Anna feel Mike's respect. She immediately turned off the family's TV and put all the food on the table, saying that this was what the festival should look like. Then the family began to pray before the meal. Her sister hesitated, but she still held out her hand to Mike. Mike dodged.
Close.
Fine, let's go get him. Just tell me where I'm going.
It's obvious that Anna wants Mike to stay at home for a few more days, but he also needs to know who Mike is, who is taking care of him, and who he is living. However, Mike, who was closed at heart, did not mention it.
Tell me just one thing. I should know about you. Just one.
I don't like to be called Big Mike.
Anna smiled happily after hearing this. Although she didn't know Mike's life experience, at least Mike didn't lose his dignity. Then Anna accompanied Mike to the slum and wanted to get some old clothes from her mother. But Anna was just about to get off the bus when Mike stopped her because there were unemployed gangsters everywhere. He didn't want Anna to be hurt by their foul language. When Mike walked to the door, after swallowing his grievance alone, he returned to the car in silence. Anna sensed his depression and said, "It doesn't matter, then come again another day."
I moved to a nicer place.
Then Anna took Mike to buy clothes, but the gangsters on the street scared her who had never been here before. He said Mike would protect her, right? I just went out. They came to a large clothing store. Anna picked out several shirts for Mike that he thought were not bad, but Mike shook his head at the price on the label and said he didn't like them all. Finally, he chose the cheapest dress in the promotion area and said he liked it. Mike's understanding.
We practically ruined a $10,000 couch. Do you want to stay here, Michael?
I don't want to go anyplace else.
The next day, Anna made a room for Mike and bought a bed suitable for his body. Mike asked in disbelief. Also, son.
What?
Never had one before.
What, a room to yourself?
A bed.
Mike's answer made Anna's nose sour instantly. She could not imagine what kind of experience had made Mike never had a bed of his own in 16 years. From this moment on, Anna decided to adopt Mike and give him a warm home. Every day after that, she would send Mike and his brother to school together, accompany them to the library to study, and tell bedtime stories to two people with similar minds at night, which Mike had never had before. In such a loving home, Mike is also quietly changing. his enthusiasm for learning, from the previous examination blank papers, to now chasing the teacher to ask questions, and barely passed the examination, and his athletic talent is gradually revealed. He rarely played basketball in school, was noticed by the football coach. Mike's burly and flexible body surprised the coach, Emeti. There is also a test list of Mike's career tendencies, although his social and academic skills are very poor. But the sense of protection ranks 2% in front of the school. At this time, Anna could not understand what this meant, but she was happy that Mike was slowly getting better. Why?
I don't know, I'm just happy.
No telephone charges.
Does this happiness have anything to do with Michael?
H&M.
Has everything to do with Michael.
However, on Christmas Day, Anna just asked Mike to take a family photo with them and send it to her friends in greeting cards. Unexpectedly, all kinds of gossip followed. The ladies and friends all laughed at her and couldn't think of it. A nigger as big as that moved into the house. I'm afraid the dozens of restaurants opened by her husband are not enough for her to eat. Even a woman said, Anna's daughter is so. Although my sister did not express her opposition, she was not very happy, because there were indeed rumors in the school during this period. Until that day, my sister saw Mike help the children in the school swing. She was hit by Mike's simple kindness, and felt that Mike should be treated gently by the world. When her friends also looked at Mike with strange eyes, she would take the initiative to sit beside Mike and protect him in this way. Silly Mike couldn't understand for a moment. Not too bad, then. Anna wondered why he didn't even have a car. What was he doing taking a driver's license? Mike explained that he just wanted to have a badge on him. Anna was awakened by depression. He didn't just let Mike live at home. He immediately took Mike to go through the adoption formalities and walk. It was at this time that Anna first learned about Mike's miserable childhood from his scribbled file. His mother took drugs to give birth to Mike and more than a dozen children. When Mike was 7 years old, the government took him away from his mother and adopted him by more than a dozen families. Now if Anna wants to adopt Mike, she doesn't need Mike's mother's consent, just sign an adoption agreement. But Anna decided to visit Mike's mother. After many inquiries, Anna finally met her.
Hey, it's my boy. How's Big Mike?
It's fine. He's doing real well.
After some communication with Anna, her mother was relieved to know that Mike had met a good man. At the same time, she felt even more ashamed. Anna, who is also a mother, understands her mother's sadness. After returning, Anna held a family meeting and asked Mike if he would like to be part of the family. Mike looked blank when asked. He looked at his sister and then at his brother. I don't see everybody want. In this way, Mike and Anna truly became family. Soon after, Mike also successful. The wealthy father prepared a surprise for him and gave him a very windy tough guy pickup. Unexpectedly, the accident also came. This day my younger brother wanted to buy a new rugby game, but Anna didn't have time. My younger brother said Mike could drive. Anna thought for a moment and, after going out, the two men were so excited that they sang and twisted along the way that they didn't notice the truck that suddenly poured out. When Anna came in a hurry and saw the car that was almost scrapped, her heart instantly rose to her throat. She saw Mike on the side of the road, but, fortunately, the younger brother was not a big deal, but his lips were a little skinned, but somehow he was covered with blood. The police also found it incredible. According to common sense, such a small child hit the airbag, either his face was deformed or his neck was broken. But it turned out that at the moment of the accident, Mike blocked the airbag with his arm and covered his brother. Anna was heartbroken after hearing this. He finally understood what Mike's protection consciousness was that he didn't understand before. There is no doubt that this is the advantage. Although he has never been in contact with this sport, after a few classes, the coach taught him the offensive method. Mike can be said to be bad. Either you hold your opponent for half a day, or you run around on your shoulder, or you pull someone else's collar down. This can make the coach who has great expectations of him very angry, but it is because Mike's sense of protection is too strong to let him not take the initiative to attack others. At this time, Anna outside the stadium saw the clue and pulled Mike forward and said, if someone wants to hurt me.
You stopped it. This team is your family, Michael. You have to protect them from those guys, okay? Are you going to protect the family, Michael?
Yes, no. Can still be friends? Anna said and left smartly, leaving the coach with a face of blindfolded, thinking it would be useful. But the next second he widened his eyes, because Mike on the court seemed to wake up the sleeping beast in his body, constantly colliding, showing a complete crushing position in the sea. Soon, Mike ushered in his first official game with his outstanding performance, and the whole family came to cheer for him, but the dense audience still made the inexperienced Mike very nervous. Adding fuel to the fire, one of the opposing players ridiculed Mike as soon as he came up, saying that he would play Mike, a silly black man, to death in their territory. Mike was obviously a little out of place, while the player took advantage of the situation and easily bypassed his defense however, Mike on the field was chaotic step by step, completely forgetting his usual training, and missed frequently in the next round, unable to prevent the opponent's attack. The number 66 player who had been taunting him, but his off-stage father laughed even louder, and his humiliating,
Yeah, you, zip it, or I'll come up there and zip it for you.
Back in the game, Mike had another defensive failure. After the fall, the opponent's 66 player, in front of the referee, gave Mike a direct kick on the head. The coach immediately became furious and asked the referee for a theory. However, the referee not only turned a blind eye to this, but also gave the coach a yellow card warning. What the coach said just now made Mike really understand the meaning of teammates and family, and the situation reversed. After a whistle, Mike instantly strangled the 66 main force and pushed it frantically towards the rear. The amazing reversal ignited the audience. The coach shouted excitedly. Under the protection of Mike, they drove straight in, and Mike never stopped his steps until his teammates scored a touchdown. Mike also pushed the 66 player out of the field, which shocked everyone. Although the team had another yellow card, the coach looked at Mike and smiled happily, and Mick,
Deliverance!
"You can't do anybody."
Well, that's my son.
In the next game, Mike completely dominated the game, turning number 66 to the ground again, and again until he had to stumble to recuperate. As time went on, the opponent had a deep fear of Mike, and in the end we won the game without any suspense. The next day, my younger brother restrained the video of the game into a CD. He went to a big university and watched Mike's amazing performance. The coaches realized that this was a dark horse, and wanted to recruit Mike into their command. The next day, a group of people came to Mike's shoe. At the request of the crowd, the coach asked Mike to make a comparison with the best striker in the team. As a result, there was no accident. Mike killed each other in an instant. The coaches looked at the light in their eyes, and called their respective schools at the same time, all of which, although the coaches are full of sincerity, the result of the cultural class is Mike's heart injury. Because of the unbearable life before, his credits only accumulated a poor few tenths. In order to Mike's future, Anna spent a large amount of money for him to please a tutor. Mike also knew that this was one of the few opportunities in his life, and worked very hard to catch up on results. Eventually, to live up to expectations, successfully graduated from school, followed by a big college coach, quickly breaking the threshold of home, in order to get Mike there crazy. Among them, Mike always liked the Tennessee team, but on the same day Anna suggested that he go to Mississippi, because it was his and Dad's alma mater. Mike did not hesitate to choose Mississippi. But just before leaving, the law enforcement officer of the sports association suddenly found Mike. Because Anna and his wife are both students from Mississippi, they have been donating money to their alma mater over the years. Even the tutor they invited for Mike graduated from Secret University. He thought Anna was a purposeful Mike in order to send elites to their alma mater and serve the...
Was it for you or was it for me? Was it so I would go to school where you wanted? Was it so I would do what you wanted?
Michael, honey, I need for you to just listen to me, all
You
right?
did lie to me.
And
I'm not stupid.
before Anna could explain, Mike never looked back. At night, Anna reflected deeply on herself. She did not ask Mike what she thought and helped Mike choose a path she thought was good. It was her own overmeddled in Mike's life, and she was wrong. On the other side, Mike went back to the slum and wanted to find out from the gangsters where high. But not only did they not tell Mike, they also spoke out and humiliated Anna and her sister. Mike instantly furious, regardless of the other side has a gun, and the other side of the scuffle. In the end, they were all turned to the ground without distinction. Early the next morning, Anna hurried over and learned from the black and blue gangsters that Mike had beaten them last night and ran away. Just as Anna was leaving, the gangsters threatened him to tell Mike to be careful, and sooner or later they would get revenge.
No, you hear me, bitch. You threaten my son, you threaten me. You so much as cross into downtown, you will be sorry. I'm in a prayer group with the DA, I'm a member of the NRA, and I'm always packing.
The originally arrogant gangsters were silent at the moment. When Anna returned to the car, she received a phone call from Mike. Mike's mother. This is the first time Mike has called Anna's mother. When Anna found the laundry room, Mike's furrowed brows finally unfurled, and the mother and so. Anna asked Mike a question that he had always wanted to ask but felt he shouldn't, that is, he was from a slum. Why is Mike very different from those gangsters? Mike told him that it was because, when he was a child, whenever something terrible happened, his mother would make him very different.
And when she was finished, all the bad things were over, she'd say, when I count to 3, you open your eyes.
Begin to say,
Because it's a good place, and it's all going to be okay.
your classmate. Then Anna asked him if he really liked football. If he was going to accept a football scholarship, she and his father still thought he should go to Tennessee, which he liked, and made sure that his family would be there to cheer for him at every game, even though he really didn't like that team.
I want you to do.
I'll order cherries.
It's your decision, Michael. It's your life.
I told him that things are not things. The smell of shoes. The smell is big. Sure.
Okay, what?
Mike found that investigator again and said, "You keep asking me why everyone around you wants me to go to Mississippi, but why don't you ask me why I chose him? Hey, husband.
Why do you want to go to Ole Miss?
Because it's where my family goes to school.
The investigator laughed after hearing this, because this was exactly what he wanted. The family was very happy on the opening day and walked into the campus with Mike, but my mother hurried back to the car after telling Mike and giving him a simple hug. Mike sensed something and went over and knocked out of his mother's window.
What, Michael?
Need a proper hug.
Mike was lucky to meet the kind Anna, and the family's life changed as a result.
I read a story the other day about a boy from the projects. No daddy, in and out of foster care. He'd been killed in a gang fight at Hurt Village. In the last paragraph, they talked about his superb athletic skills and how different his life might have been if he hadn't fallen behind and dropped out of school. He was 21 years old the day he died. It was his birthday. That could have been anyone. It could have been my son, Michael. But it wasn't.
Maybe not everyone has so much luck, but everyone can choose kindness. This film is based on real characters. Mike's prototype Michael Auer graduated from university in 2009 and officially landed in the American Professional Football League. He was selected by the Ravens with the 23rd pick in the first round and came to the team in the 4th year. Completed T.